So I also want to just challenge us all to think of ourselves as leaders. One of the things that happened for me, I'm 54 now. When I turned 40, I started getting recognized for my leadership. And I had been doing Bioneers for, I don't know, 8 or 9 years. But I didn't feel like a leader. It felt very strange to me that I was like getting acknowledged in awards and being written up. And I thought, I didn't fit my own definition of a leader. And I really felt, honestly, and I still do, like basically I'm putting one foot in front of the other day by day and doing the best I know how to follow what I understand to be my own assignment. And to me, that never correlated to leadership. And that was actually what prompted me to create this book, Moonrise. And I actually want to really take a moment to thank Kathy LeMay and Jean Shinoda-Bolin, who were both generous enough to be in the book and who have both been incredible teachers to me. Jean teaching me the value of translating our inner change to outer action, and Kathy teaching me about how important it is to really look at our relationship to money as it relates to our relationship to ourselves and to power and to our capacity to make change. And really, both of you as teachers, thank you. It's such an honor to be here with you. So I decided to do this book, Moonrise, because I thought, I have this very unique vantage point. I get to, for the last 21 years, I've been scanning this landscape of leadership. I've been scanning women and men from all walks of life, from all ethnicities, from all classes, from all disciplines, from all approaches. And somehow there must be a new definition of leadership that we're all co-creating. Because the definition that was in my head was, well, the leader is a person who stands at the front of the room and has a lot of charisma and usually gets authority from outside somewhere, like they get graduate degrees or somebody gives them a job that gives them authority, or they get a crown, you know, but one way or another, right? They get authority that somebody else gives them. And often they wield that authority in ways that make other people smaller. And I got very clear that I didn't want to be that in any way, shape, or form. And so I started scanning, and what I decided to do was to review like hundreds of transcripts, because I've gotten to hear and have all these teachers and hear their stories over the last 21 years of Bioneers. And so I started reading stories, and what I found, and I read these stories looking for patterns, because that's one of the things that we as women naturally do, is look for pattern. And I think from way, way, way back when we were identifying plants that were medicine and plants that were food, and we were learning how to describe them to each other, we looked for pattern. And we looked for pattern about what made a healthy ecosystem and how we could interface with that ecosystem and harvest the food we needed without taking too much, you know, and have this human nature dance that actually made everyone healthier instead of depleting the earth or ourselves. So let's see, leadership. So what I saw was that there are, in fact, we're all co-creating new models of leadership. And it's really exciting to me, because what I realized when we started offering these Cultivating Women's Leadership intensives was that women would call us and they'd say, well, yeah, I really want to go in deep with a group of 20 really diverse, interesting, juicy women. But this leadership thing, I'm not so sure about that. We're like, oh, this is interesting. So everybody has issues with leadership. So, you know, we collectively started unearthing, well, what are our presupposed and inherited ideas about leadership, and what is a leadership that we could imagine collectively that we can all wholeheartedly aspire to? Because if there's one thing that the earth and our future requires of us right now, it's leadership. But it's not leadership that makes each other smaller, it's leadership that lifts each other up. And it's not leadership that has to stand in the front of the room. It's leadership that can come from beneath. It can come from the sides. It can come from the back of the room. It can come from the artists and the dancers. You know, it can come from spirit, and it can come from all kinds of places. And it has as many forms as we are people. And it has all these manifestations. And we need it all.